Hello everybody, I'm back here at UKG 2025 with Aram from Lasting Games and Butcher and Bolt, a spectacular looking World War II skirmish game.
Right, yes, it's our upcoming game. It's a miniature agnostic skirmish game about commander raids and special operations. It's a sandbox rule set. It will allow you to recreate absolutely any historical account about commander-style kind of raids that you've read about or seen in a movie. My design philosophy has been to make sure it's not limited by the rule set, just by your imagination and what you've read about. So in a nutshell, it will allow you to do absolutely anything you think you could do in real life on the tabletop.
Okay, so it's heavily narrative and possibly slightly RPG then in some ways if you're...
Right, so in the sense of creating that rich narrative immersion, yes, but it's very much a tactical game. It's historically plausible, which to me means if you employ historically accurate tactics of this scale, you should most often than not win the game. If you're doing something completely ahistorical and you win the game, that's a red flag for me from the design perspective. So there's none of that here. It's creating a lot of friction, a lot of tense decision making within the game, lots of trade-offs, difficult decisions. You haven't got the time to accomplish them all, and obviously it's keeping tense for both sides, as it should be. Yeah.
So it's small unit actions. How many sort of miniatures would you expect people to have in a typical game?
Right, so the key term here it's asymmetric warfare, which means you don't have to have equal sizes on both sides, and generally you shouldn't, and you don't. So again, keeping things flexible. Games vary from small size to medium, large, and very large. And on average, the model count would be anywhere between 8 to up to 3 sections. That's 30 models per side. If you go beyond that, then you go into multi kind of team player realm where you can have multiple forces per side playing, team versus team. So again, it's there to accommodate any kind of eventuality as a game. It's a sandbox rule set. But on average, we're looking at about 15 to 20 models per side. That will be your medium, good-sized game.
So when people are playing, because it is both raids and covert action, presumably then there are different styles of play, or maybe some rules that would be used in the covert operations that you won't see in maybe a run and gun raid?
100%. So in this particular fictional mission, it happens to be at night. Within night, we've got that tableau will actually show you a lot. There is, you can play it at any time of day, any season, any theater of war, wind conditions, weather conditions. All of that is there, not to bog down the game, but to give you that toolkit to utilize and recreate a historical raid. So in this particular mission, we've got a German guard patrol, but you absolutely don't have to. So I've got a number of campaigns already cooked up, coming up later once the game is released. So Operation Oak, for instance, the infamous Fallschirmjäger a rescue attempt of Mussolini atop the mountain. That's obviously taking place in the daytime with gliders landing, Fallschirmjägers jumping out. There's none of the patrol there. It's the Germans versus Italians. That's definitely there to be represented. You can go far east, create sea raids as well as you get sneakily into a harbor, or you could indeed go. I've got Operation Flipper done as well. That's the assassination attempt of Rommel in North Africa. All of that is there, and you can absolutely tinker the rules and utilize those additional optional layers to recreate any commander raid, really. But there's a lot of tension with the use of card mechanics and activation cubes, and there's a lot of nuance there, whether you form groups or split groups, tactically speaking. Because it's a skirmish game, you activate them individually, but you can again form those groups, and that's dependent on the skill level and the training, how well you can coordinate between your teammates. All the while, things are happening. One kind of quick example of how narrative the game can be whilst being tactically rich is in most games you've got scattered terrain that is just usually providing soft cover or hard cover.
Sure.
Well, it's definitely doing that in this game as well. But on top of that, if you look at oil barrels, for instance, well, if you shoot at them, they'll explode and they'll create blast of a radius affecting potentially everyone around it. Or there's a vehicle there parked. Mm-hmm. Now, in a normal game, that's a scattered terrain, it's just hard cover. Well, in this game, just like in real life, you could jump in, try to start the engine, and try to escape in the vehicle. The problem is when you get in, you haven't got a clue if the vehicle's been there for a week or 2 months. So does it have fuel in the car? Well, we'll see, and that's going to create a tactical tension once again. Imagine it's dire straits, you're trying to escape right before you get caught, and then there's no fuel in the tank. So that sort of thing, and it's all captured in this game. And then one last thing, Gerry, I'll have to talk about this. A cherry on the cake, each mission, on top of being very narratively rich, comes with secret mission briefings. So each side will open this. In addition to what's publicly available at the start of the game for both sides, there is something else going on. And that is only known to one side or the other. And whether that other side finds it out ahead of time to give it slight advantage or not, whatever is happening will happen. So as the game progresses, things will evolve and you have to adapt on the go. And that's just taking the game that is already narratively rich to a whole new level that I've personally, obviously I'm biased, but I've just not seen it in any other war game. And that's just a very unique aspect of it. But there's a lot more and many other nuances as well.
I absolutely love the idea of this. We talked briefly at Salute, and things like being able to bring in the weather and pieces like that real life raids had to deal with. The famous one is Saint-Nazaire. A bombing raid was due to go in first to protect the commandos, but there was cloud cover and nobody had told the pilots what to do if there was cloud cover and they couldn't drop the bombs. So they just circled and circled until the Germans went, what's going on here? And woke everybody up. And those sort of real life hiccups that you can't account for, bringing those into the game is absolutely just a beautiful little touch as well.
Thank you. Yeah, it's definitely it's been a design goal of mine to make sure it's not just tactically rich and you're not just immersed in the game from what the mission tells you, but there's other things that happen over time. Because again, I've read so many historical accounts, and when you go in, you just never had that 100% intel. So you go in with 20-30% intel at best, and you just never know what's really happening. You're not prepared. You can't be prepared. It won't be a commando raid if you're 100% prepared, with a few notable exceptions. But yeah, that's the game, and it's trying to capture all of that. But the other design goal of mine is, how do I do that without bogging down the game? And so hopefully anyone who would play this game, the core mechanics are very much streamlined, and anything else is just there as a toolkit, as an optional layer that you can just pick and plug in or remove as the needs dictate. That's pretty much how the game's been designed.
So if people are here at the Expo, they can come and demo the game with you this weekend?
Yes, absolutely. Subject to my voice still being intact, but I'll be running more demo games this afternoon, that's Saturday, and also on Sunday as well. I've done a few yesterday, so I'll keep pushing for as long as I can. It's a good game.
What's your booth number? Where can they find you?
Right, so we've got lostingames.com website. You can sign up there for the launch. Hopefully the pre-orders are coming up later this autumn, around October time. Maybe early November, we'll see. But then everything else will be ready. So once that's done, we'll just gauge the numbers, press print off the factory, and the fulfillment will be shortly thereafter. The other place, if you want to dig slightly deeper into the rules, Facebook private group, just type Butcher and Bolt with there. It's a nice growing community we've got going on, where I'm discussing the projects, the campaigns, the rules in greater detail, and also there'll be a series of video clips coming up talking about various different mechanics and concepts, hopefully through the summer.
Okay, well, there you go, folks. If you're looking for them, check out Butcher and Bolt. They're around 3A-711, so you'll find them at the top end just before you hit the tournament section in Hall 4. We're going to push on and see what else there is to see here at the Expo.